happy Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in and for choosing to spend some of your time with me. I'm Maria Milagros. You're an incredible human, and this is Wisdom Wednesday. Wisdom with a Z, kind of like the Wizard of Oz, because I'm not really going to teach you anything new. I might give you a new skill or new tool, but you already have within you everything you need to be your best self, right? Like the Cowardly Lion and the Scarecrow and the whole bit. They were already performing the things that they thought they needed. They were already doing it. You're already capable. My job is to help you pull those things out. So today I just want to share a quick story with you about an interaction between my daughter and I, and then the reminder that came from that, so that we can try to practice keeping that kind of thing in the forefront of our minds to benefit our relationships, because our lives are basically made of relationships, and those relationships have a huge impact on the satisfaction of said lives, right? So let's just jump right to it. So during the month of July, I take time off of social media, and I like to spend that extra time either taking care of myself or spending time with my daughter. And during the month of July, we had this amazing month. It was amazing. And then we were having a conversation. She went into her room. I went into her room to follow up the conversation. And when I went into her room, there were piles of clothes everywhere. And, I think I asked like something reasonable, something like 9,742 times for her to pick up her room. And it was super reasonable, not quite 10,000. And so when I walked in, I had this instant moment of frustration. And if I'm being honest, I was really tired too. So I kind of snapped and I yelled at her. And she responded in a yell. And she had tears in her eyes. And I walked away because I knew if I responded in a yell again, we would just kind of get into this match. So I walked away. That's when it clicked, like, Maria, you're tired and you violated your rule for your home. So I have these rules in my home. We will treat each other with love, honor, respect, and honesty, right? This home, love, honor, respect, and honesty. And that was not respectful. And that did not show honor. And that was not an example of love. Now, separate from the fact that she yelled back, I started it. I initiated it, right? And I recognized later that she was also tired. And so without my checking my own filter first, I responded in that way. So I left the room. Like I said, I went into another room of the house. Within like a minute or two, I'm having this process in my head. That's what it sounds like, right? She comes into the room, and as soon as she walks in, because she came into the room to get something that was in that room, and when she came into the room, I apologized right away. I told her that I loved her. I told her that I was sorry for violating the rule. I told her that she deserves respect and honor, that I should not have raised my voice to her, and, that I was frustrated, but I also recognized that I'm tired, and I want her to pick up her stuff as a way of showing respect for her things, and so that they can last longer, by taking care of them. She understood. She also apologized. We hugged and kissed, and then back to magic, right? Then we both decided it would be an early bedtime for both of us. So the thing that I want to just share, because I was reminded of, is that a lot of times we ask other people to be a specific way, and we ask them to do certain things, but we ourselves aren't really either practicing or cultivating those exact things, right? A lot of times I hear people say, I just want those people to be honest with me. And then my question is always, okay, separate from them, are you honest with you? And they're like, Are you authentic? With yourself? Do you acknowledge your own stuff? Do you work through your own things? Do you recognize when you need help? Do you recognize when you're feeling good? Do you milk moments when you feel good? Do you recognize what makes you feel good in your life, in yourself, in your own sphere, in the world, right? Like, do you, when you ask other people to be respectful in their communication, are you practicing, cultivating, and consistent in a practice of healthy communication? Right? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, we are constantly asking other people to look like this, act like this, be like this, as a prescription for perfection or for things to be right so that we can feel better. But the truth is, we have to be willing to go there first. We have to be the ones. I can't ask my daughter or tell her that she has to apologize when she messes up if I'm not willing to apologize when I mess up. I have to be willing to go there first. Because when it comes to our relationships, whether they're familiar relationships, whether they're intimate relationships, whether they're friendships, whether they're coworkers or acquaintances, we have to be willing to be the living, breathing example consistently. Not I'm doing this so you can imitate me, because then that's just judgment. But more like I'm doing this because it brings me inner peace and joy. And then I know that I am treating other people with respect by like in a verb. I'm not just giving lip service. I'm actually doing it. I'm loving in an active way, right? Are we doing that before we're asking other people to do it for us? Right? And I found that for myself and for my relationship with my daughter and for relationships in general in my life, the better I got at doing that here first, the more I attracted relationships that imitate that behavior. And relationships that didn't previously imitate that behavior, because of my consistency, eventually began to shift into something healthier. And then we match. And then we're healthy. And then we're happier. And then we get things done better, or we have more fun when we're together, or we know that we're being honest with each other. And we know that even though sometimes it might sting, we are being honest with each other, and honesty is the best policy. And so that's what I'm sharing with you for this week, is be willing to go there first. You want healthy relationships? Have a healthy relationship with this person. You want, you want people to be more honest? Be honest, and then be honest, right? You want other people to act differently with their money, right? First of all, that's not your business. But I'm thinking about your kids. If you want your kids to be prosperous and abundant when it comes to finances, then you have to get your house in order when it comes to finances. And that looks different for everybody. For some people, it could be dealing with financial trauma that you've experienced, right? If you've gone through something where you were poor, or you had a really hard experience, like let's say your parent lost their job and you guys were struggling, you lived in a shelter, you lived in people's houses, right? You develop a financial trauma to that. We forget that there's also trauma attached to finances, and then we make our decisions based on that trauma. So we have to be willing to heal that trauma. Sometimes that's the work. And sometimes the work is about figuring out how to get a savings account, because your family never did that before. Figuring out how to create a budget, figuring out, those kind of IQ money things versus these EQ money things. So this is the emotional stuff that has to do with money, and then there's the intelligence stuff that has to do with money. But if you want to teach that to your children, that has to happen here first, right? Because our greatest teaching tool is our living example. I'm going to say that again. Our greatest teaching tool is our living example. And again, that is both with our children, not both, but with all of these relationships, with our children, with our friends, with our intimate partners, and so on and so forth. So just this kind of, again, self-awareness, going back to it. Everything starts here. Everything starts here. You want people to be more grateful? Practice more gratitude. Because then the other thing that happens is when we're in the space of always practicing gratitude, we're grateful for them even if they're not grateful, because we're just so accustomed to practicing gratitude. And then we don't require them to be different so that we can feel better. We allow them to go through their journey and their process to get themselves there. And we kind of hold the line. We hold the line with our practice, cultivated consistency in whatever it is that we want for ourselves and for others, here first. You want the world to be filled with more love? Love. Love here first, fully and truly. And then disperse that love into the world from that really healthy place, because love does not need in return. So if we're healthy here first, and then we give love from that overflow, I don't need you to act any way towards me. I just have all this extra love I have to give it. And then we are, in fact, making the world a more loving place. You see what I'm saying? So just something to think about. And that's what I have for you for today. I hope that this was beneficial. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you know someone who can benefit from it, go ahead and share it. That's what they're for. And if you haven't already, subscribe. I gotta go. I hope you have a great weekend, and the start of next week. And I'll see you next Wednesday right here. Same bat channel, same bat time. Peace!